What is going on, everybody? It is Monday, October 14th, 2024. It is 8:45 a.m. here in Germany. This is the Insanity Report for today. And here, we've got a crazy story about the election voter rolls in Virginia. The Biden administration is apparently suing the state of Virginia to force them to put back a bunch of names that they purged from their voter rolls, that they purged because those people they purged were not U.S. citizens, right? And so apparently the way this works is you go to the DMV to get a driver's license, and then you're actually automatically registered to vote. But part of that process seems to be that they ask you, are you a U.S. citizen? And if you are, then you'll have to prove it, except in Arizona, but that's a different story. So they ask you if you're a U.S. citizen, and there were I guess 97,000 people or something like that. Anyway, it was a lot of people that said no, they were not a U.S. citizen, so they're not to be on the voter rolls. And so they were removed. And the Biden administration, see, they caught this. In Virginia, they caught this, that these people were getting registered on the voter rolls anyway, even though they said they were not citizens. And they caught that, and so they removed the names. And now the Biden administration is suing the state of Virginia in order to try to make them put the names back on the voter rolls. But I'm sorry here, maybe I'm like missing, something, but my mom lives in the States still, and she is I would say an immigrant. She's got a green card, so she's not a naturalized citizen, and so she cannot vote in the general elections, right? That's the same thing I've got here in Germany. I can vote in local elections. I'm not a German citizen. I can't vote in the general elections. And I know that in America, non-citizens cannot vote in the general election. So I don't see why there is even a lawsuit to be done at all about this, because it's pretty simple, right? It's pretty simple. If you're not a citizen, you can't vote on the general election. That's the rule. That's the law, right? There's no nuance. There's no maybe if this and that, and if you do it like this, or if the sun is, in the sky at this position. It's none of that. You know what I mean? It's none of that. It's just real simple. I'll admit, there's a lot of laws that have nuance and aren't real simple. This is not one of them. This is not one of them. So what Virginia's legislature did, what Virginia did, is they followed the law and they removed the names off the voter rolls, because those people self-admitted they are not citizens, right? So they cannot vote. They should not be on the voter rolls. And the Biden administration is trying to sue to keep them on there. Now, when the discussion about the illegal immigration in America comes up all the time, the right and the conservatives and Republicans, they like to say that the Democrats are allowing this to happen in order to cultivate new voters, so more voters for their side, which I always thought, that could be like a side effect of this thing, but I don't think that's the main reason, because that is like kind of a stupid plan that really could backfire. Because with that plan, you're assuming that everybody that gets let into the country will therefore automatically be on your side. Whereas it's more reasonable to assume that you let everybody into the country, they live there for a little while and watch what's going on politically, and then end up choosing the other side. So that would be risky, because maybe you're bringing in a bunch of voters that will staunchly defend the other side instead of you, and staunchly vote for Republicans instead of the Democrats. So that always seemed to me like, that's kind of a stupid plan. I don't think that is the reason. I think that they may be hoping that is a positive side effect from their actions, letting people across the border unvetted, unchecked, indiscriminately, and by any numbers. But I don't think that was the original reason why they did it. Although now, I am starting to think that maybe they really are that stupid, because why would the Biden administration, once again, a government organization, pissing away millions of dollars in taxpayer money to file frivolous lawsuits that don't need lawsuits because the law is already clear, you know what I mean? And why would you, if you're the presidential administration, why the hell would you want illegal immigrants to vote when the rule and the law and the Constitution and the whole fucking thing, everything points to that that's illegal. why would you then fight to do something illegal? And how can you use taxpayer money to go to court to sue a state which is actually on your side? You know what I'm saying? It's America. It's not an enemy combatant state. It's Virginia. Why would you use taxpayer money in that way in order to force Virginia to keep illegal names on the voter rolls? That just makes no sense to me. It's madness. People, this is ideology. Again, I'll go over it again. I say it over and over again. It's ideology, right? It's ideology. You can't have ideology running the show for everybody, because when you say everybody, not everybody adheres to the ideology, right? And this ideology, these people are fucking crazy. You can't be the presidential administration and say, I'm going to use your money, taxpayer money, to give to Ukraine, to give to Lebanon, to give to Israel, to give to them, I'm going to give it to everybody everywhere. And I'm going to also use it to wage lawfare against your rights and the law itself. That's madness. It's lunacy. It really is. And now, and of course, yes, they're going to say, their excuse is going to be, I know what their excuse is going to be, they're going to say, well, the National Voter Registration Act says that 90 days out from the election, there's no big purges of the voter rolls. Yes, that means that you can't start purging voter rolls 90 days before the election for frivolous things like misspelled addresses or, wrong or whatever, frivolous shit. It's not meant for breaking the law. You know what I mean? Yes, you can change the voter rolls or purge voter rolls if the names on the voter rolls are illegal. You know what I mean? It's just so crazy to me. I can't believe it. You know what I mean? I can't believe it. Then in Arizona, apparently in Arizona, they don't ask for proof of citizenship. What? And in California, it's illegal for the voter people, the voting place people, I don't know what you call that, where you go vote, the people that run it. You know what I mean? They're not allowed to ask you for it. It's illegal for them to ask for ID. You can't even show your ID. That just means you can be anybody. That means you could be anybody, and you could go in there, 4 times a week and vote over and over again. There's just no checks. They want to remove all the checks and balances from the voting system, and then they go, well, no, but we in America, we have the best voting system ever. It's the most secure election ever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like 2020. The most secure election ever. And whenever Putin has an election, or Venezuela has an election, or anybody else, they're like, oh my God, it's fraud. And then when it's about America, they're like, oh, fraud does not exist. Fraud doesn't exist, people. Sorry. You know what I mean? Sorry, guys. That can't be right. No fraud in America. It's the most secure election ever. And while they're saying that to you with like one side of their mouth, on the other side of their mouth, they're trying to break every single law, every single check and balance, every single thing in order to allow fraud into the system. And it's complete madness. People, you cannot stand for this. You can't stand for this anymore. And I know that individuals are not capable or not able to do much about it. But what you can do is you can go out on election day or before, when it's possible in your state, and you can vote for Donald Trump. Everybody's got to get out there. Everybody's get out there. And once Donald Trump is elected, after that, the people of America have got to start and stay paying attention. Stay vigilant. Watch what these people are doing. After Donald Trump is elected, it's going to be time to primary your representatives, your state representatives and local representatives. You're going to have to start paying a little bit more attention to what these people that you have given power do. What they're spending your money on, what they're voting for and voting against. And if it doesn't match your idea of what they should be doing and why you voted for them, then you have got to get rid of them. I'm sorry that people don't want to be engaged in this. I'm sorry. But if you want to live in a free country, you are going to have to be a citizenry that pays attention and makes sure that the country remains free. If you leave it up to these people You know what I'm saying? And just say, we voted for you, now just get it done, and I don't want to be bothered anymore. I don't want to hear shit, I don't want to do shit, and I'm just going to assume you're doing everything right. You get this madness. That's what you get. That's the problem in all of the Western countries right now. All of the Western countries right now have the same problem as America, and that is because people have just checked out and just want to assume that the politicians that they elect and give all this power to are just going to always look out for their best interest. And we've learned now, I hope, that that is just not the case. You have got to keep these fuckers on a short fucking leash. Right? You don't just get, like, have a kid, and when the kid can talk and walk, say, okay, I'm sure you're going to do the right thing, and just let him go, right? And that's the same with politicians. That's the same with people that you give power to, because they do have to be elected, right? And if people come out this election season, it's very short, it's not very far away, people, it's getting exciting, right? It's getting exciting, even though I don't think that there should be any question whatsoever that Donald Trump should win this election in the biggest landslide in American history. Absolutely. If the election is free and fair, it will be a landslide win. But we know it's not going to be free and fair. It's going to be tampered with, like it has been ever since 2020, probably before, but certainly in the last months, and ever since the cases against Donald Trump started, certainly since then. And we all know it. And so you have to be able to, devise a strategy against it. And the strategy that you can devise is, it cannot be a sit this one out election. It cannot be, I don't want to get off the couch election. It's got to be, if you want to save your country and you want to start getting this deep state bureaucracy out of power, then you will need to make sure that everybody you know, yourself, and everybody gets out there and pulls the lever for Donald Trump. No sitting it out. You know what I mean? And if you sit it out and the world goes to shit because Kamala Harris is a bird brain, right? An evil bird brain at that. And all of her cronies are even more evil than she is. Then you are going to get exactly what you've got now times 10, times 100. And then you can't bitch about it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Then you really can't say anything about it. Because look, if you're not going to do your part, your little part, to vote for the right candidate, then basically, what do you have to bitch about? Right? I mean, what I'm telling you now about this voter roll cleanup thing in Virginia, that you can look it up. I'm not fucking making it up. You know what I mean? Your presidential administration is using taxpayer money to try to subvert the law. Right? That should be not allowed. Okay? Especially not since, apparently, as far as I heard, states have a prerogative on how they run elections, not the federal government. So that means Virginia has done their duty to purge these people from the voter rolls because they personally admitted, I'm not a citizen, I can't be voting, I can't be on these voter rolls. And yet, the administration is trying to interfere and force them to keep the names on. That's madness. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? That would be madness to anybody. I mean, look, Germany, where I live, and Europe, the European Union, Western Europe, is not less corrupt than the United States. It's the same shit. It's the same kind of people. It's the same politicians. It's the same kind of mindset. It's the same ideology. But even if you ask these people, right? You ask the people that are in power right now here in Germany, hey, do you think you would use taxpayer money to try to force a certain state in Germany to break the law and put a bunch of illegal immigrants on the voting rolls and allow them to vote in the election? All of them, even the ones that would love to use that to their advantage, all of them would say no. You know why? Because that's even too insane for them. That's even too insane for them. It's complete craziness, without a doubt. And it's up to you guys to do something about it, people, so I hope you do. And look, if you want to get the Insanity Report, you want to get the weekly rant, you want to get the Q&As or the articles that I write, all my content, you can get it all in one place in your email inbox. If you subscribe to my Substack below, you can do it for free. You can do it for $5 a month, would be much appreciated. And if you're watching this somewhere else, like on Rumble or YouTube or TikTok or whatever, you can follow me there, please do. But in the end, the easiest for you and the easiest for me is for you to come to it'sallaboutlogic.substack.com. Again, that's it'sallaboutlogic, all one word, .substack.com, and subscribe there for free or for $5 a month, and you get all the content in your inbox directly as it's published. So that's the easiest for everybody. Go ahead and do that. Guys, we'll see you tomorrow on the next Insanity Report. Hope you had a great weekend. Catch you guys later.